May vary. The podcast that does whatever it wants because you ain't the boss of us. After a week off, we are back. I'm Brian Noonan. With me, as always, the man, the myth, the well coiffed Cody Gough. Hello, Cody.
Hi, Brian. I'm Cody Gough. This is a hilarious and zany comedy podcast. I'm going to tell you what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
A lot. A lot. I'm going to talk about the horror movie you must or must not see. I saw the opera. Was there a Flying Dutchman? Was the Dutchman flying or not? Who knows? Also on my docket, I went to a concerto of one famous celebrity named Nick. Got to stay tuned to listen to it. A job posting of the century. I'll just leave that there.
Wow.
And I will be starting off the show with a whole saga about tipping. And listener, you can get involved, especially if you can only get involved if you're live, actually. Otherwise, no. No, that's not true. You can leave a comment on Spotify or a review on Apple Podcasts when you give us five stars.
5-star, hopefully.
Yeah, that's fine. Either way, Brian's got stuff too. He went
I
apple
don't.
picking.
And listen, everything you said, I want to get involved with. I don't know who the concerto is by. There's a lot on your platter, but I also something that I didn't tell you before. I have another TV recommendation for you.
Ooh, okay. All right, TV rack. All right, well then I won't preview the other stuff. You had a lot of October/fall activity.
Fall activities. I've been full of fall activities. I've doing all of that, which comes with its own brand of misery. But
All right.
let's get to you because you. This is what I like. We take a week off because I have some maladies, and you come in loaded for bear.
Mhm.
So I'm ready to go. You're as excited as a Swiftie watching an NFL game.
Well, wow. Let's not. My friend had a funny text about that earlier today that I will share with you. But in the meantime, for my 30-second check-in, real quick. What was I going to say? Oh, my wife during bath time with the kids asked me to get her some lemonade. So I did, and it looked very appealing. And I said, you know what? I would love a whole glass of lemonade, but let's spike it. So I've got a classic college drink, whiskey lemonade, Makers and lemonade in my glass.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I wish a little bit less whiskey was in it, honestly. But how about you?
I have a bottle of water. I was thinking, though, this is funny because we have some apple cider. Speaking of fall activities, some apple cider in the refrigerator, and I have some Jack Daniel's apple because last fall I was making some apple cocktails. So now I may have to whip one up after the program.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Other than that, I'm fine. I apologize for the last minute notice last week of cancellation. I was hit with, I had gone to the dentist, and I don't think that the two were related. But at about 7:00, I got hit with a headache unlike any headache I had ever had before, where I couldn't stay awake. It hurt from the back of my neck all the way through my head. I was nauseous. My ears were ringing. My eyes were thumping. It was horrifying. And so I went to bed after I texted you and I posted something quick to tell people we weren't going to be here. I slept for 14 hours. I got up the next day. I still had a headache. The ears were still ringing. My eyes were still blurry. Debbie said, take a COVID test. I didn't have COVID. I sat around. I couldn't stay awake. And then by Wednesday, I was fine. So it could be a tumor.
Jesus.
Could be. I don't think it is. But I've had now Saturday, I got another one. So, who knows? But I've decided, Cody, I'm just going to ride it out. There's no more doctors for me.
Okay.
This is just unless like I pass out and Debbie calls an ambulance or something. This is it is a tumor, Ken. It's a tumor. It's I'm gonna just let it roll. We're gonna just see what happens. There's no because listen, you go to the doctor. It's a scam. It's a hustle. What's insurance going to pay for? Every diagnosis my entire life, even when I had lost all my weight, it was all somehow weight related. I'm like, well, I dropped 150 pounds, like you told me. Yeah, well, it's still so. That's what I say. But there's my check-in. I'm feeling good. I'm looking good. I'm. Oh my goodness, things are rolling. So
Tight.
there you go. It's
Yeah,
tight,
that
tight
is.
indeed.
Well, hey,
There's my check-in. Tight.
to address what you said about the Swifties in football, I saw a
Yes,
funny tweet the other day I should tell you about.
please do. Is it a tweet still, or is it an
It-
exclamation? What
it's
is
a
it?
post,
All right.
but
Don't get
I'm
mad at
gonna.
me. I didn't change the name.
It's it's a tweet. So it's a tweet from a lady saying, I'm just a girl sitting on her sofa begging the NFL not to spend the entire night cutting away from the game to show me the chick one of the players is effing. I told my friend about that, and he goes, yeah, last week it was kind of cute, and now in true NFL fashion, it's become totally insufferable after only 1 week. Every 3 seconds, one of the broadcasters would be like, wow, that was some tackle. Wonder if the Taylor Swift will put it in her next music video, LMAO. And then Chris Collinsworth,
Chris
apparently.
Collinsworth is a reptile.
Yeah.
He's awful.
I don't even know who that is. All I know through my friends is that the Bears are not having a good season.
Oh, not having a good season is an understatement. I've taken the Bears flag down from the front of the house. I've scratched off I was eyeing a Bears sweatshirt that was going to be my Christmas wish list. That's off. Done. Yeah, I'm out. I'm off the bandwagon. It's nice though because I don't have to worry about it at all on Sunday. I had it on this Sunday as I was cutting the grass. I'm listening to it on Sirius. And I thought, well, maybe. And it's the Bears. The Bears gave us all a set of blue huevos on Sunday because they went into the first. They ended the first half 21 points up. And we're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be so. And then they lost. Yeah, they've lost 14 games in a row. So they've lost 4 this year, and then you can go back, and it's been a lot of games that the Bears have lost. They suck. All
right.
And they've always,
side note, I'm glad you had some topics, at least that you teased to me before the show, because my son is not in bed yet.
What is going on with this rapscallion?
My wife is tutoring on Zoom right now. So
not a sleep study class.
No, she's tutoring some English student. He is running amok. And
the child is running amok? Or the English
child is running amok. No, the child is running. My son is running amok, and I may be.
Do you need to go wrangle him?
I don't know. I'm not getting paid for this podcast. Although, if you want to support us on Patreon, we don't have a Patreon.
Not yet, but we're gonna open Patreons on both podcasts.
Yeah,
fantastic. We're good. We got to monetize this thing.
We do. So
we can get Cody a babysitter for tape nights.
That's why. Yeah. So I told her.
You know what it is? And I hope I'm not going to blow one of your topics. You tried to get the devil out of him yesterday, and he's not having it.
Nice transition, Brian. He does smell like the Holy Spirit today still.
Does he really?
Actually, unironically, yes.
What? Well, you're talking to a guy who's never smelled the Holy Spirit or anything else. So please describe for our aromatically challenged. What does that mean?
Boy, it's very earthy. It's like the best incense you've ever smelled. Very kind of earthy and just.
What did they dunk him in?
Almost kind of spicy. So there's an oil. So my kids got baptized.
Spice?
We double dipped my kids yesterday in a double baptism.
That's nice because you get the group discount. You save up.
Well, hey, look, my son was born 6 months after quarantine started, like heavy COVID. Churches were closed. They were doing stuff, but we moved. Then we had a newborn, and then we were pandemicking, and then there were you know how it was. We all lived through it.
I think so.
My whole plan.
You thought, how can there be a God if he's brought this pandemic to us?
My whole plan when we were looking for houses and knew that my wife was pregnant was, let's find a suburb, move there. We'll start going to church. We'll get involved in the community. And then we didn't for 3 years because there was a pandemic. But now we're good. So we found a church we like. I vetted a couple Catholic churches. We found one we like. We did. I did. I found one I did not like. Did I talk about that on the show?
No, I would love to hear the criterion.
So the neighborhood church that we were supposed to belong to based on our address and our
Sure.
zoning, uh, I brought my kids. My wife teaches yoga in the city Sunday mornings, so it's
Yeah.
usually just me and the kids. And actually, part of the reason I wasn't going to church was because we only had one car until like a month ago. So I couldn't load up the
Jesus
kids.
walked everywhere, Cody, or
He,
took a donkey.
he did, but I don't think he had a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
No, he was a bachelor. Allegedly.
So that was part of the reason. Now we have 2 cars. Now I can get them in and cart them to church.
Sure,
Well,
you got a
so
church van now. That's excellent.
well, I mean, yes, they have Saturday service. We all went as a family to a Saturday service, but you know Catholic church, the vibe is different.
Sure.
Sunday morning is like everyone shows up, people are awake. 5 o'clock mass on a Saturday, sometimes the lights aren't as bright. Like, people come and then they go, right? It's off to
Right.
dinner.
I was a big, back when I was indoctrinated, I was a big Saturday night mass guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can go out on Saturday night. You don't have to get up Sunday morning. Like when we were little, my parents would take us on Saturday night because it was a lot easier. We were already up and dressed than trying to get us up on a Sunday morning and get everybody wrangled up and go. So yeah, and it was always a little more casual on Saturday night mass,
Yeah. I
But
don't know.
anyway, you like Sunday. You're a traditionalist. You like your mass in Latin. You're that old you're that kind of Mel Gibson throwback to church. The ultra Catholics.
I don't know what that means.
All right. Look it up. He's a part of this Latin. It's a whole big very fundamentalist Catholic stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I didn't say it wasn't. I'm just making a comment.
I'm just saying it's fine. For the record.
Look, are you afraid the Pope is listening?
I have nothing against the Saturday mass. Also, sometimes the main priest won't do the Saturday mass, right? Like it'll be
and you want to go. You only want to go when the big name guys are there.
Well, if
you
it's
don't want the B team preaching at you.
If it's like a family parish and you've got like the parish priest, I'd like it to be the guy, right? Like, so you get to know. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay, so you go on Sunday. So what was the criteria that made you say one church was good and one church was not?
Well, I went to my wife with one. It was, we walk in and there's a guy standing right near the back by the pews, and he made a couple of jokes about our kids and said, welcome. And it just, I don't think I'd ever walked into a Catholic church and had someone say welcome or hi or anything. Usually you just kind of like shuffle in, do the the dip the water thing, and then hope nobody notices you, and then you'd maybe shuffle out, maybe do some small talk with people on the way out. I don't know. In my high school years, my parents switched to a parish that I cannot stand in Rockford, compared to my childhood one. Unfortunately, my childhood one caught fire in a storm last year.
Oh my god!
So the roof got destroyed, so it's closed.
The roof is on fire?
Yeah, it was bad. So this is going in so many directions. The point is,
you still haven't told me. Was it one was less molesty than the other? One didn't ask for as much money. What was
the first one we went to? Younger priest, you did a little joke at the end. He's like, "What announcements? What announcements? I guess we're good. Okay, all right, let's do the thing." And then we closed. It was funny. So I bring my kids to our official parish, right down the road. Now, we learned about my official parish when we met our across the street neighbor, who told us how great it was, in the same conversation as she told us that the only news source you can trust is Fox News. So when I went to the website of our local parish,
oh god,
most of it was like pro-life, like rallies and marches. And look, I'm not pro-abortion, okay? I'm
going to sit back and let this just roll. I'm not even going to get involved.
I'm not going to turn this into a thing. I can actually respect and empathize with people who are quote unquote pro-life to a certain degree when presented a certain way. I think there's right and wrong ways to do it. I think I think if a woman wants to get an abortion and she's like really just depressed and down on her luck and poor and afraid, I think there's a difference between like being a pro-life person and offering to support that person and like help them, and just like going to their door and screaming at them and holding up banners and screaming you're a terrible person. Do you know what I mean? There's a way to be empathetic about the pro-life approach, and there's a way to not be empathetic about it and judgmental and hellish about it. And I think there's actually a space for the former, and the latter kind of is not great. I don't know if I explained that well. Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I I I see what you're saying. I don't completely agree with it. I
Yeah,
think
it
I
and
don't
I'm not.
think I don't
Yeah,
think being pro-choice is being pro-abortion. I think it's
right.
so I think that's when you made that statement. I don't think the two are synonymous,
They're not.
and I don't I also am horrified by the people. I'm horrified by the people who stand out with posters and pictures, and
Yeah,
because let's be honest, there's a lot of hypocrisy on the side of we only really care about children before they're born, because once they're born we don't want programs that are going to help them get food. We don't want programs that are going to take care of them. We just our job is done because they're here, so we slap us on the back because we got them here. Now what you do with them, well, that's your problem.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and
exactly.
and it's not, well, and I don't want to get too serious. This is the last thing I say. It's a woman's choice.
Mhm,
It's a healthcare matter. You can believe in the morality of it or the non-morality of it. And if you were that gung ho about it being a sin, then aren't you supposed to pray for the people? Then
mhm.
just pray. Don't shout them down. Don't yell at them. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of people yelling that have a lot of things they're doing that really if it was out in public they wouldn't be real happy about that either.
Yeah.
So there you go. So this church sounds like a little more hardcore.
Well, that's the thing is like is like, and I'm with you. Like in policy wise, all that. Yeah, let's support people. But yeah, my problem. What I'm saying is, I think there are situations when a community can be supportive and encouraging of a person who's maybe expecting, and there are ways to
Sure,
on
you
a
can offer
very
alternatives
very
in a kind,
individual
supportive way.
level, offer alternatives in a kind of supportive way. This was not
That's not what
this
that's not what's happening.
this was like pro-life march, right? That means you're like marching and probably protesting somewhere and maybe getting in someone's face. Like, not a fan. So I'm like, well, but let's give the parish a try. It's just a website. It's just my
Sure,
one neighbor.
it's just the website.
I don't know if I'm gonna
It's
walk.
just their public facing PR machine.
But it's a website. Like, come on. What do you? How
Okay,
much do you
all
think
right.
How much do you think the church webmaster gets paid? You're like, you think it's just some random volunteer that like just throws their ideology on
Well,
there?
I would hope
Maybe.
that the pastor is looking at it and going, listen, you might want to pump the brakes on that a little bit, Adolf. We don't
I
that's
don't
not really
no.
what that's not the whole philosophy of this welcome others and
I don't know what it is, dude. None of
okay.
our senators know how to use the internet. Most of them are dying in office, literally. And we've got we've and so to
Just
assume
one.
that
I don't think one can be labeled as most of
well,
them.
Mitch is not far behind, wouldn't
Okay.
you say?
No. When a couple more go, you're most
What
labelable.
about Strom Thurmond? Did he die in
I
office?
don't know.
He was 193, wasn't he? It doesn't matter. I'm just saying our Senate's encrypted. No one can use the internet. Why do you think the bishop and priests necessarily can use the internet? Some are also advanced in years, and maybe some are not as
Well,
techno savvy. This is all fair. This is all fair. Dianne
okay.
Feinstein couldn't get up out of a car, let alone use the internet. You think she was scrolling up and down on Twitter? Sorry.
Wow.
Rest in not our Senate. Thank you very much. So here we go. That's the whiskey talking. All right. Let's go, dude. I wanted to do a fucking fun story about a restaurant tipping
All
situation,
right,
and this
you
evolved
got
into an
into how you
abortion
picked. No, you got
conversation.
into how you picked your
Uh,
church.
We went to the nice church. Everyone was dressed way too nice. They were all dressed like it was Easter Sunday on some random ass Sunday. I was not dressed well. My son peed his
Shocking.
pants in the car on the way, so I had to
Right.
change him into his backup clothes, which were sweatpants. When we got communion, the priest looked at me like he was judging me and my whole family. I felt like everybody was looking at me sideways. There were people in full suits and ties on
That's
a random
ridiculous.
Sunday in August.
Nah,
I
that's
was just
nuts.
like, this is the bougiest Catholic church I've been to. I don't like it. The other church is very blue collar, at which I'm way more comfortable with than white collar.
There you go.
So that's
See, you
where
could
we're
have
at.
gotten past all the crazy abortion talk by just saying that. You
Well,
felt more
you threw
comfortable
me.
at the
It
one than the
doesn't
other.
that
Oh,
it
I
doesn't
drew you
matter.
in?
You threw me off. The
You know
point
I'm
of
not you
the
okay, go
the
ahead.
point of the story,
Mike is
the
right.
topic I wanted to talk about was that after the baptism, which went swimmingly, get it?
Congratulations.
Thank you. We went to a local restaurant and it was a brunch spot. And I want to ask what you or the listener would do in this situation. What is the etiquette? Let me walk you through what happened. We sat down at a nice modern brunch spot, reservations for 15. It was just my immediate family
Wow.
and a couple godparents. We all sat down. She took our drink orders after a few minutes, but drinks probably took 15 minutes, maybe 20 to come out. Long time. Slow service. Okay, fine. Then she took a little longer to order. Okay. Now you've been in these situations where like you sit at a restaurant for a painfully long amount of time. This was not quite there. Like it was long, quite long,
Well, when you have
nearly.
little kids, that window gets smaller.
It was tough. It was tough, but they were very well behaved, so we
Your
were good.
children are very well behaved.
So the food all comes out. Food's all warm. Food's all pretty good. So the bill comes. Now, 15 people at a place, everyone got a drink. I assumed the tab would be like $600.
Okay.
And I was gonna pick it up, right? A big event, baptism.
Sure, you're the dad, you're hosting, you're
Yeah.
the suburban man. We hear you got 2 cars.
Yeah.
Things are going well.
Yeah. So the bill comes back. It is just over $300. Now, everyone got drinks, some multiple, and everyone's meal was at least $20.
Okay.
So I look at the receipt and she only charged us for 2 drinks.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if that was because the service was on the slightly slower side and she felt bad, or, at the end she said congratulations on like, she was cleared. I had 2 kids in white
Sure.
baptized. So, she said congratulations. She was very friendly there. Maybe it was like to help celebrate, or it was a slow service thing, or I don't know, right? You never know the motivation.
Right.
She got the automatic 20% tip. So she got like $50 or whatever. And then on top of that, what would you have given? Because I've had this happen before, right? You go to a bar, you order 4 drinks or whatever, bartender comps you one. I always give the bartender an extra like $10 or whatever because they hooked me up.
Right.
Is my general assumption. They hooked you up, and so you kind of kick it back, right? And if you're listening, you could be like, "They stole from the restaurant. They stole from the bar." Like you could look at it that way too. But I'm not going to steal
See,
in
but
from the person.
if she was in this case, I think she screwed up. Because I think that's a lot of drinks not to it almost sounds like there should have been a food bill and a bar bill. And somehow she screwed up or else she would have gone, listen, I know you were celebrating. We comped your drinks because whatever. Because then you're going to go, oh, and now you're going to give her a little extra, So I think it was a screw up. Like I would have said something. Going, hey, this isn't right. And then she could have said, oh, we're going to comp those because you had to wait and there was all this stuff. So yeah, this one I would have, because that's a lot. That's a big chunk. Because you got to figure a drink is probably, if it's a beer, it's probably 7 to 9, and something else is probably 10 or more. That's a lot of drinks.
A lot of the drinks were like 15.
Yeah. So that's a lot. There was a screw up somewhere.
But there were 2 drinks on the tab. So it wasn't totally separate for the bar.
Okay. Yeah, I still would have said so. I would have asked.
You would ask.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Did I? So, okay. See, I literally didn't even consider that.
Because normally if they're going to do something for you, they let you know they're doing something for you. That's always, they're not just gonna do something and hope that you know, figure it out. And on a
Okay.
day, wow, and on a day when your children were brought into the family of God, you stole. That is irony.
I
Isn't it
mean,
ironic?
they've got my card. Couldn't they just run it again?
I don't know.
All
Probably.
right. All right. Well,
I just would have asked. That's
no.
all. Because they could have, it could have been an honest thing. Somebody screwed up. I'm getting tired of listen, here's the thing. It ties in. I'm getting tired of these tabs. Whether it's a bill at a restaurant or a tab at a bar, I've been having a lot of problems with tabs lately, with getting tabs that are wrong. And so now I've decided I'm just paying cash as I go everywhere I go.
Wow.
That's it. I'm not messing around, or I'm going to use the card, but I'm not. You want to leave this open? Nope. Charge me right now. And I'm going to pay for these. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do it again. Because it's been happening more often than not lately. And it happened again on Saturday. And Debbie got into a beef with a bartender.
Uh-oh.
Yep. And you don't want to beef with Debbie. You know that.
No.
Nope. So, and it's unfortunate because it was one of our favorite places.
Oh, no.
Yes. We'll go back. It was just, there was a big thing going on. And it was, but again, computers and all this. So, you know what? I'm just going to go cash. They had an outside. This was the first time I went somewhere where I didn't have cash. And one of the bars that they had going was just cash. I would have much rather used that. I'd have just rather paid cash. I paid cash for my sandwich. I just want to do that. I'm not leaving any open tabs anywhere with all these people with their computer programs and blah, 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 blah.
All right.
No. So that's my rant on tabs. But I would have, so you tipped on the 300 rather?
No. So there was an automatic 20% gratuity. So she got I think it was $50
All right, yeah.
or somewhere around there. And then so the bill was like 300 and change or something. And so
Right.
I tipped an extra 10%. I was like, oh, she should get that she's already getting a good tip built in.
Right.
I'll give her a bunch extra because she hooked me up with drinks or whatever. I just literally, it didn't even cross my mind that she made a mistake. But Brian, it's table of 15. You can't. How could you miss?
You can't, but you also can't unilaterally give all those drinks away.
Yeah.
Somebody screwed up.
Somebody's somewhere either
the bartender didn't punch him in or
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, now I consider it a possibility. So in the future, I will ask if there's that big of a discrepancy. But if they had comped, let's say you'd gotten 3 drinks off or something, and they were like, sorry about the wait time, I gave you 3 free drinks. Let's say they saved you $60.
Okay.
What would you then do tip-wise to compensate them for that?
I'd probably toss them $20 or maybe half, maybe $30.
Yeah, 20, half to 20. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sounds
It's
about
like
right.
when you go, it's like when I go out, and we haven't done this in a long time. We used to have, those entertainment books where you'd get 1 meal free. Well, you always tip on the 2 meals.
Yeah.
So even though the bill comes and you're just getting charged for 1 meal and the, drinks or whatever, you always add in, all right, that other meal was $20. So I got to add the tip for that meal too, on top of the tip for all the other stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. But listen, you're a different generation. You're a little sketch.
I'm very sketch.
You're very sketch.
Well, maybe I'll go back and give them that money if I get my dream job.
Oh, nice segue, Cody. What's your dream job? I thought this was your dream job.
Well, boy, it sure is.
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, if anyone I'm working with is watching, I just saw this on LinkedIn. I wasn't looking for jobs. I don't know if you believe me or not, but that's true. So I see this job come up on my feed. Don't ask me why LinkedIn's feeding me jobs. It doesn't usually, but maybe they're trying something new. So the job is YouTube/podcast producer, Schaumburg, Illinois.
Hey.
For context, anyone listening or watching, these jobs do not appear, right? I've I've had job alerts set up for podcast positions forever. And like
Okay.
producer jobs will pop up, but not producer jobs on site 15 minutes from my house with a salary range of $100,000 to $250,000 a year.
That is a crazy range.
It is.
That's ridiculous.
It is.
If you had said it was 100 to 150, that's a range. You can't almost triple the opening salary in your range.
It is
We're paying either $10 or $150 million.
Right. And a lot of times that's totally silly. But so I'm like, well, let's read it. Because it starts at six figures. Let's just read it.
Sure.
Now it names the show, but I can't name it because it'll give us the whole thing away. The show is a YouTube show and podcast, is being relaunched, Brian.
Really?
Relaunched.
Hold on.
15 years ago, this show had over 100 million listeners / views from around the world.
15 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
You will be responsible for producing a world-class YouTube show and podcast. Okay, I can do that. Other responsibilities: booking guests, researching content, running the board, camera switching, editing the show. You will also do whatever it takes to get the number of views and the number of subscribers going up each week for the show. Okay.
Fair enough.
You will be responsible for everything. Well, that justifies a six-figure salary now, doesn't it? You'll also be producing weekly graphs using management by statistics software, showing the number of views and the number of subscribers for each of the platforms the podcast is posted to. Now, Brian, if those numbers go up every week, you are doing your job. Large bonuses will be given based on results. Really? Your annual income potential can be $250,000 or more.
It could be. However,
this is not a sales or commission position. This is a salaried position paying $100,000 a year and full benefits plus quarterly bonuses.
Okay.
So that kind of explains the range, right?
Sure. Sure. So it's paying 100, but in the ultimate everything goes your way, maybe you can make 250.
Yeah.
Okay.
Travel 4 to 6 times per year, domestically and internationally for various meetings and events.
Okay.
Very exciting. And a bunch of qualities and skills: self-starter, go-getter, dress for success.
None of which you have.
None of which I have. So I know I'm out at this point, but we only hire the best.
Yeah, they had you go-getter and some of the dress for success.
Yeah.
All my CM Punk t-shirts are kind of faded.
No, one's not. One I've never worn.
Oh, well, use that for the interview.
That's what I will. Commitment to personal development and self-improvement.
You're all that.
You cannot have trash talked recently departed U.S. senators on a podcast.
Oops.
That one, kind of.
Never talks about abortion.
See, right. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm qualified for this, and that pays a lot of money. Again, if I work for you and you're an employer of mine and you're listening, like, if you want to give me $250,000 a year, sure, I won't look at jobs that pay $250,000 a year. But if what comes on my feed, then I'm like, come on, now. I'm a reasonable person. I think that's reasonable. So
and I know Crafty Brewers Tales Behind Craft Beer is only paying you $125. So
yeah, exactly. So, some kind of my curiosity's kind of piqued, and I'm like, well, I like my job a lot right now. I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing, but let's just Google this guy to see what his show is all about. So, Brian, I spent a lot of time reading this post, thinking about updating my resume. I think I actually did update part of it. Just kind of have. And then I'm looking and I'm like, hold on. Who's this guy? Maybe the name rings a bell with you, Brian. The name of the show is The Kevin Trudeau Show.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What? Oh, God.
Mike already knew who it was.
I do remember that name. Oh, my God. He was the author, salesman, convicted fraudster, known for promotion of his books and resulting legal cases involving the... U.S. Federal Trade Commission. He had late night infomercials. The weight loss cure they don't want you to know about. He agreed to pay $500,000 in fines. Oh God, he's back.
Yeah.
Oh, he's known for promoting alternative medicine, questionable diet, and financial remedies. He founded the International Pool Tour. Fraud, larceny, and contempt of court were criminal charges. He had regulatory settlements with the FTC and 8 state attorneys general for false claims and misleading representations.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he was just in prison for 9 years.
Yeah.
Federal
he's
prison.
coming back. But 15 years ago, he had a lot of big following.
He owes the government $37 million right now. Now, as for his 100 million followers, I looked at his YouTube channel. He has roughly 3,000 subscribers.
Well, he's been in the can for a while.
Yeah.
They drop off, don't they?
Yeah. So it was an easy apply on LinkedIn, and I thought it'd be funny to apply. So I applied. So I click easy apply. You didn't even do it. It's just submit your LinkedIn profile. Yes. Click. You've applied. That's it. Like, let's see what happens.
Oh my God. What happened?
So I get a LinkedIn message from Kevin Trudeau.
Yes.
Guess how many connections Kevin Trudeau has on LinkedIn?
It's got to be 4,000.
1.
You?
No, I don't know who it is. He just has one connection on LinkedIn.
Who's going to connect with him on LinkedIn?
I don't know. So in his profile, best-selling author, the infomercial king, multi-billion-dollar global businesses, motivational speaker and trainer.
Wow.
This is where I really knew he was trouble. For the last 3 decades, Kevin Trudeau has been known as one of the most prolific #1 New York Times best-selling authors of all time, this according to him.
It can't be right.
Inspirational / motivational speaker and teacher. A fearless free speech, natural health, freedoms, and consumer advocate. And he put whistleblower in quotes, a whistleblower who has exposed corporate media and government corruption.
Sounds right up your alley.
Yeah.
You hate government corruption.
His critics have called him everything from a snake oil salesman to a fraudster. Now, this from his LinkedIn bio, the U.S. government has been trying to discredit and silence him for decades, making undocumented, unsubstantiated, and false allegations about Kevin relentlessly.
Is he running for president? This sounds like a witch hunt.
The mainstream media simply parrots the government untruths and lies about Kevin.
Yes.
The tech giants, TV and radio, have been censoring Kevin for decades.
Wow.
But Brian, there's some good news in this bio.
What is the good news, Cody?
The over 100 million supporters of Kevin, however.
100 million supporters?
Over 100 million.
That is the biggest rally of supporters ever. It's perfect.
Know the truth about Kevin Trudeau. They say he is real, genuine, and authentic.
Okay.
Those are all synonyms.
They are. So when you're one thing, you use that same word over and over and over.
That's correct and accurate and very right. Those millions of people who have benefited from Kevin's works tell the real, in quotes, and true story of who Kevin Trudeau is. Really
Could
is.
He really, though.
This is where I really like what today Kevin Trudeau is a philanthropist.
Oh, sure. International
New York Times bestselling author. Okay.
Of course.
Speaker, teacher, trainer, and expert in the law of attraction.
Whoa, he's like that mystery guy. The mystery guy that we had on. The laws of attraction. Hello.
The next two are my favorite because of the order, just because of the left turn that comes between
so wait, let's start. He's a philanthropist. He's a best-selling author.
Yeah, sure. Best-selling author.
He's the laws of attraction. He knows them.
Laws of attraction. And the next two, the #1 direct marketing expert in the world.
Ooh.
And the next one, fast becoming a spiritual leader for millions.
I smell another con coming. He's going to have the next Nexium cult. Because if you're that good at marketing, you can make people believe any horse hockey you want them to believe.
Oh man,
wow, this is exciting. You'll be working for a celebrity. It's like going to work for Dr. Oz or, Gautam Gupta or somebody.
He sounds like Trump, doesn't he?
Just a little.
Like
just a little. This was just from the Chicago Sun-Times. In June, he avoided jail again for contempt of court. So holy cow. I hope he said you get a letter, or some, you got to go to the meeting. You got to go to the meeting and hear what this is. If they offer you an interview, you got to go.
Well, no, here's what happened. So I got a message from Kevin Trudeau.
Oh,
it's 7:00 at night on a Tuesday. Dear applicant, thank you for your interest in this job. Before proceeding with the application process, please make sure you are familiar with who Kevin Trudeau is and his background. Review the KevinTrudeauFanClub.com website.
Oh my God.
So I go to KevinTrudeauFanClub.com because it's hyperlinked. And the very top of it, it has his headshot and it says, "You can help Kevin. Donate today to the Kevin Trudeau Legal Defense Fund. Help keep Kevin out of prison."
Applicant, are you going to do it?
What do you think are my chances of working for him and getting paid anything ever?
No, none. Absolutely zero. That's why he offers. That's why he, $100,000. People are gonna go, oh, I gotta. Imagine if you're some young, hungry video or audio guy, and you're like, oh, I'll do it, and you get charmed, and you're like, I don't care. I'm just producing audio. I don't need blah, blah. I don't need to believe what he's up to until hey, Kevin, when's payday? 2029. What? When I get paroled, that's payday. What? Huh? But and then yikes.
So then he says, also check out the club Mr. Trudeau founded. So I go to globalinformationnetwork.com.
Oh my gosh.
GIN.
What does that mean?
Because Global Information Network.
Oh, Global Information. GIN.
So GIN is a private, exclusive, members-only worldwide association of individuals dedicated to achieving success in key areas of life.
Oh, that sounds fun.
So I click on it. There's a thumbnail labeled Global Travel. It's got a picture of a cruise ship, and it says the GIN cruise ship. The Global Information Network, Brian, they're currently completing a feasibility study on building a residential members-only cruise ship.
A residential? So you live on the sea like a pirate?
Yep. The ship vision introducing freedom. It is a cruise ship with a badly photoshopped word freedom on the side, and then the U.S. presidential seal in the middle of it.
He's going to run for president. Or he's going to build it so that he and Trump can sail into international waters and avoid any sort of criminal consequences. Can't be extradited from the middle of the sea, Cody. Allegedly.
This ship I could just describe all day. The flavor and atmosphere of the ship.
Please tell me that.
This guy, first of all, everything's written by this guy. You can tell. Random words.
And I like that the response letter to your easy application is in third person.
Yes. Oh, I love that you automatically picked up on that because we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah.
The flavor and atmosphere of the ship might be unlike any other ever created. It will be a combination of an ultra luxury vacation resort.
Okay.
Ashram/spiritual center.
Ooh.
Fitness and health retreat.
Better.
Clubhouse.
I love it.
Learning and educational.
Always important.
Academy.
Still learning. How does that? I don't know what the learning and the academy, how they're different.
I feel like Learning and Educational Academy should have been the same line, not
Yeah.
two different bullet points.
Terrific.
Village for positive people with positive in quotation marks.
I'm out.
Natural Cures Health Center.
Sure, that's what he had to pay the FTC for.
Mansion for the rich and famous.
What does that mean? You get 2 cots?
The next one is just in quotes, Shangri-La.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Does that mean holy cow? All right. Does this mean there's going to be like manservants and women servants and concubines?
Oh my God. Brian, so I thought that it was like 5 or 6 paragraphs and then that list of bullet points. This page is, if I went to print this, how many pages would it be? Hold on, I'm going to check.
Well, he's a best-selling author.
Brian, this is one of the longest pages of text I've ever seen on the internet. All right, so while that's loading, I'll go back to, I can't go back to the LinkedIn message. Hold on, I gotta wait. I'm gonna like lock up Chrome. I think Chrome is actually frozen trying to load.
Yeah, Chrome is like, what is this?
God. Okay.
Oh, the global travel.
Oh, here we go. Okay, how many pages? It is
I'm
35
pages.
pages.
35 pages?
35 pages. If I printed it out. Okay, back to the LinkedIn message. Lastly, you can review Mr. Trudeau's YouTube channels and other social media accounts to get a perspective on Mr. Trudeau's philosophy, style, and mission. So give me a link to the YouTube channel, which again has like 3,300 subscribers.
Okay, I thought it was 100 million.
Which is very low. I did too. You know, odd.
I would have guessed 100 million.
Instagram, Twitter. On Twitter, he has 1,500 followers.
Okay, that's less than you, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't I have like 20,000?
Well, you have a lot more than 1,500. I think I might have more than 1,500.
Yeah, I have 18,000. He has 1,800. You have 3,000.
I have more than Kevin Trudeau?
Yeah, way more.
All right.
Facebook, LinkedIn, blah, blah, blah. Next, go back to the job description and read it again thoroughly to make sure this is a position you could excel in. This is not a remote position. Now get this, Brian. If after an in-depth interview, you feel you would be the ideal candidate for this job, then submit a letter consisting of 1 page, 1 side. Tell us why you think you would be the ideal candidate for the job. Also give us 5 of your most powerful attributes, such as enthusiasm, unparalleled experience,
invisibility,
alignment with the mission, etc. Mail the letter to, and then there's a P.O. box in Elk Grove Village.
Okay.
Please include your resume. We will get back to you and let you know if you qualify for a one-on-one interview with Mr. Trudeau. Sincerely yours, Danielle Camacho.
Wow, is that Hector Camacho's daughter?
There is no Danielle Camacho on LinkedIn. Not a single Danielle Camacho.
Would you, if you were a Danielle Camacho, would you put yourself on LinkedIn? What would your title be? Does she have a title on her letterhead there?
Let me see if there's one in the greater Chicago area. Actually, there's a couple Danielle Camachos.
Okay.
Not Danielle. No, there's no Danielle Camacho in the Chicago area.
Danielle Camacho. That is a fun name to say. So wait, when do you do the in-depth interview? To
echo Mike's sentiments of, in all caps, stay away from that guy. My wife has done academic studies and research on charlatans.
Ooh.
Throughout history.
That's quite a word. I like it.
He is not only a textbook charlatan, but just reading his LinkedIn profile, she thinks he may be a violent psychopath. And is genuinely concerned about putting our lives in danger if I applied for it. Now, trash talking him on a podcast for half an hour, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But,
yeah.
Listen, we have 100 million people who will protect you. Our 100 million fans will protect you.
I just want to know, isn't he supposed to be in Canada right now?
I don't know. No, that's Justin Trudeau.
Oh,
Were you waiting the whole? Did you tell that whole story just for that lame joke?
yep.
Wow. All right. Well, it was an entertaining story. Horrible payoff with that line, but the rest of it was great. The rest of it was phenomenal.
I had never heard of the
love-
guy. I texted my friends, and my friend Max goes, "I love that guy. I watched his infomercial on coral calcium like 10 times when I was little."
I think he used to be on with like Danny Bonaducci when Bonaducci was doing overnights on the Loop. He would have Kevin Trudeau on all the time. Back, geez, long time ago. Wow, I would. That is crazy.
You
I
should
love.
apply.
I'm staying away from everybody.
Okay.
I don't want, but please, you know, no chance. You've got all the skills though. You're a go-getter. You've produced. You're award winning. Oh, just think how much you would love to have your awards behind him.
What do you think?
What are your superpowers though?
Yeah, what are my 5 attributes?
What are your 5 most powerful attributes?
Drunk.
Well, I can hold my liquor better than just about anybody.
High.
I am skilled in the figure 4 leg lock and can put down a man 2 to 3 times my size.
Wait, are there any good movie monologues where someone talks about being skilled about something?
Yeah, you could just do the one from Liam Neeson's from Taken of a particular set of skills. Just do that.
Oh God, I want to do this so bad, but my wife, I can't put my family in danger. And the guy really, and then she's like, he's also like clearly a crazy manipulator. What if like he called you and he actually talked you into something?
Yeah. What if you were like, he didn't, I could just see you have the phone call. You go down to the dinner table. Your beautiful family's all sitting around. You go, you know what, honey, this guy makes sense. Made me a great offer. This is fantastic. I'd be, quite frankly, I'd be an idiot not to do it.
Yeah.
And then you're in your family truckster and you're heading up to Schaumburg. And then 2 months later, nothing. Because it's going to be like in a Boiler Room where they come in and there's just suddenly the empty office with phones on the floor. And you're like, what happened? Where'd everything go? What happened?
Do you want to hear what he said on his one of his more recent YouTube videos?
Can you play it?
I can play it, but
I don't want us to get in trouble.
No, I can. So I have ear prompter skills.
What is ear prompter?
I can listen to something and then speak it back as I listen to it.
Wow, that's number 6 on your list.
That is an actual skill.
After your particular skill set.
I actually took an ear prompter class at Act One Studios in Chicago, and we practiced on the first day, and I just did it. And the teacher was like, "Okay, so you're on like another level that we need to work on a like advanced basis." I'm dead serious. Like this is
wow.
This is the one like talent I have.
Did you know that you could do that before you went to this class?
No idea.
That's crazy. All right, show me.
I will click play on the YouTube video and I'm just going to speak along with what he's saying. And I have not practiced this. I just have to turn it up a little bit so I can hear. Yeah. Okay, so, all right, let's see. Hi, Kevin Trudeau here. I want to give you some information about energy and how energy, if you know a little bit about it, can help you manifest your goals, dreams, and desires faster and easier than ever before. Now, first off, a lot of people may watch these videos and always say to me, Kevin, what are all those orbs flying around your screen in front of you? Yeah. Some of you see them regularly and some of you don't. There are a lot of orbs of energy all around me. Some of you see them flying around all the time. Some of you don't. Sometimes you can see one or two. Some people say it's almost like when they're watching these videos because I'm putting out a lot of photons. I'm putting out a lot of energy. It looks almost like a snowstorm. So if you're seeing things there, it's not dust. There's no dust here. It is energy. You're actually seeing energy. What I'm doing when I'm doing this broadcast is I'm helping you see energy. All right. So
first of all, Wow. That's crazy. That is really crazy.
I just heard him and talk back. Like that was exactly his video. I can put a link in the.
No, don't link. We believe you. We believe that you also put on photon energy, you know, and BD energy. So it's you're putting out all the energy.
A couple of people in the chat, like, we don't want to give him any views. Don't worry, this video has it actually has 2,000 views.
All right.
That's really weird. Are there any comments? Wow, KT is too good for humanity. He's a gift to all of us, even if we don't realize it right now. In the future, time doesn't exist. Time doesn't exist is in parentheses. We'll comprehend his deep teachings.
Oh my dude, God. You would get sucked into a cult-like move. Unbelievable. Your wife is right. Don't get involved.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
But for the show, it'd be great. If you want to do it, you know, I'm not the boss of you, and neither is your wife. Your wife can just give suggestions. You are the ultimate boss of yourself.
That's true.
You make your own future. Do you see what's coming out of me? A lot of horseshit just coming right. Some of you, when you look at this broadcast, you see brown pellets. That's because, well, my teachings are horseshit.
Dude. Mike is saying, do it for the lulz. I want to do it for the lulz, but it's too precarious. It's too close to home. If he was like remote, if this was some guy in like Taiwan, like maybe. I don't know why I picked Taiwan.
No, yeah, because then they'd be in the Yakuza or something. That's Japanese, but there'd be some triad. It'd be some triad that you'd be getting involved in. Oh, wow.
That was my brush with almost making $250,000 a year producing a YouTube podcast.
Wow. I think that is quite a bankroll.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder if you could be indicted as like a co-conspirator then, if something allegedly down the road were to happen you know.
That was the other thing.
Take your house, take your cars, take your children.
That was the other thing. My friend Max was like, you absolutely would end up going to prison for something.
For something. You'd go to prison for something.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Glad you were entertained by that.
I loved it. I loved it. That was, holy cow. That was insanity.
Yeah. So do you know who Nick Cave is?
I know the name. I'm not familiar. I don't know his work, but I know he's a recording artist.
Okay.
That was the old maniest answer I think I've ever got. I believe his voice and vocal stylings were recorded on vinyl at one point. I think he's very dark, isn't he? Is he very very dark, moody.
Very moody. Less melodic and more poetic, more kind of like almost beat poetry than like the music is good, but he doesn't really sing. It's not like he's singing melodies. It's more kind of spoken, you know, some singing, good voice, but not very melody focused, right? Just pretty music. And so on the topic of me not knowing who people are when I should, like Kevin Trudeau. So my wife is like, hey, let's go to a concert.
Wow.
Let's see Nick Cave. This Nick Cave guy doesn't come around much. He went to the Auditorium Theater last Friday.
Okay.
She goes, let's go to the Nick Cave concert. We go, great. A couple days before that, I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. I look him up on Spotify, press play, listen to a couple songs. I'm like, all right, yeah, I've heard these before. Cool, we're good. Go to the concert. He starts playing the piano, and it's dark music, lower voice. I'm like, this doesn't sound like Nick Cave. Sing some more songs. He's doing the voice. I'm like, maybe maybe he'll go up a register for.
Was it Nick Cage?
So close. It turns out on Spotify, I had looked up Nick Drake. Nick Drake is dead. Following a theme of Cody for the evening. Both charlatans and dead people.
Hold on. I'm writing that down. That's charlatans and dead people. That's there's our title.
So Nick Cave.
All right.
So listen to Nick. Who did I see? I saw Nick Drake is sadly no longer with us. the one like the main hit song of his on Spotify, I had stuck on my head throughout the entire Nick Cave show, hoping and waiting for him to sing it. Spoiler, he didn't. It was still an enjoyable show. I thank my wife for going. Have you ever sat in the like high up top part of the auditorium theater?
I don't know if I've ever been in the auditorium theater.
Wait, really?
I don't think so.
Okay. So you know how like
I don't think so.
You know how the Needlelander and a couple of the other ones on Broadway in Chicago's kind of row, they're like kind of similar, right? Like generally like
sure, yeah.
Maybe flip back and forth, or maybe one's a little bigger or smaller, but like pretty ornate, like you know the drill.
Yeah.
When you go on the Cadillac, the Needlelander, you know, auditorium's not like that. Auditorium is like, it's like 6 stories high.
Oh my God.
Like when you were on the balcony, so there's the upper balcony, the upper balcony, the like triple upper balcony,
and then the roof,
and the whole building is slanted. It's kind of like the Riviera. It's kind of like the Riviera Theater. It's just like nothing is flat. It's all just moved around. The upper level, all the seats kind of slant forward a little bit. So to get to the top front seats, you actually get to the very top, and then you cross a little crosswalk, or not a cross, a little a catwalk.
Oh God!
You cross the catwalk over some other seats into this row of like, there's another section, like 5 rows, and my wife got seats in the front. So we go down, and it's just a drop. Like I'm literally like 5 stories.
Oh no!
So we were terrified, and thank God it wasn't sold out, because we just moved back like 4 rows. Whereas like,
wow, that would have made me. I would have oh no, that would have made me very uncomfortable.
They have really good acts there. The Joffrey used to perform there. I think they go to the Lyric now, but the Joffrey was there for a long time. So you should go sometime. And if you go, just go up to the top, just go up all the stairs and just look.
No,
because he turned up the lights at one point, and there was a song where he says the word balcony, and whenever he says balcony, everyone in the balcony is supposed to yell. And he paused for a minute after, and he's like, "You guys are really high up there." It freaked him out a little bit. Freaked us out.
Wow.
But it was a really great show, and it is an experience going up. If you ever go to the auditorium, just walk up, kind of take a look. But it was a good show. I will say the crowd was one of the most eclectic, diverse crowds I think I've seen. It just, I mean, I can't even describe it. Tons of people in t-shirts, just t-shirts and shorts. Tons of people dressed up. Tons of people in drag, but I think that's pretty normal for Chicago at this point, and just in 2023 in general, like dudes in dresses and stuff.
Sure.
Tons of people with like colored hair, piercings, but then like very vanilla looking people. I just didn't know where I was. You couldn't look around. Like I go to concerts like Guns N' Roses, and I'm like, I'm at a Guns N' Roses show, right?
Right.
But it was weird. It was weird. So, but good show. So if you get a chance to see Nick Cave, it's not Nick Drake.
I'm looking at a picture of the interior of the auditorium theater, and those way up high balcony seats look, how would I say it? Terrifying.
Yeah.
No chance-a-roo for me to. No, I'm gonna pass. I'd probably pass it. You went to the opera. Boy, what is with all the culture? What are your children just free grazing at the house? You're going out. You're going to the opera. You're going to see Nick Cave. You're doing all sorts of things.
We did 2 date nights 2 weeks. We did 2 date nights in 1 week.
That's crazy. How can that be?
Neighbor came into our house, knocked on the door, asked me to sign a petition or whatever, because
one of your church neighbors?
No, a regular neighbor. Her son's running for local office.
Oh, nice.
So you need the signatures on the petition?
Sure.
She got it. She actually runs a like extracurricular center down the road and knows a bunch of kids. And we got to talking. I said, we don't have any local babysitters. She goes, oh, one of my gymnastics coaches would be great. She's 21. She's in college. She's back or she's local or whatever. She's fantastic. So my wife texted her the next day. Hey, we got 2 dates. Can you come? She goes, sure. And we hooked it up. So we have like a local, like couple hours at a time babysitter now.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, for the first time in 3 years.
That's terrific. Oh, does that mean I'm out?
You are totally still in.
All right. Listen. As soon as the little one is welcome as soon as she's not breakable.
I know that, but we figure you probably don't want to pop by for a few hours and then leave and go home at midnight.
Yeah, we'll see. Give us a call.
I mean, you could I'll call you up next time if you want.
No, that's fine. Listen, if you can't get your 20, I know you want a 21-year-old coming into your house. I got you. You're going to fall right in that suburban dad stereotype. Can I drive you home? I live right across the street. You know what I mean. What? That sounds that's awful.
My God.
That is awful. Suddenly there's a scandal. You, Kevin Trudeau, all your entire empire falls down.
Empire. Dude.
So what was that? What opera did you go see?
We saw The Flying Dutchman.
Ooh, that was a ship, right?
Yes.
All right. There's an opera about a ship.
Kinda. So it's a Wagner opera. What do you know about Wagner?
Just that it's spelled Wagner. Bless you.
Thank you. I don't cover my mouth at home because why would I sneeze on myself? No one's in the room.
Listen, I didn't talk about your hygiene or lack of thereof.
Someone's watching the video wondering why I didn't cover my mouth. That's because I'm not gonna.
Oh my goodness! There he goes.
There we go.
So I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about Wagner or the opera.
That's dude. You knew Nick Cave.
I knew who he was.
You knew who Wagner was.
Well, yeah, sure. All right. So, okay, I get what? 1 point? I don't think I'm going to pass the exam, but at least I get a couple questions correct.
All right. He's German. He's one of the greatest opera composers ever, whatever. He did the Ring Cycle, which was that 25-hour opera I was going to see with my wife.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, very extreme. So, evidently, and this is very relevant to the story, Hitler was also a big fan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I see how things are tying in now. Your political ideologies are morphing together with your art.
I wanted to make sure I went straight from abortion to the Holocaust, just to tie this episode together. You were supposed to laugh there. So, the Holocaust is really bad. Let's just nuance there.
Wow, you're going out on a limb.
Turns out, I know, very edgy. Turns out that Wagner apparently later in life, or maybe always, was like horrifically anti-Semitic, which I didn't know. I don't know. He died forever ago, right? Whatever. I didn't know that. So the reason that's relevant to the story is that opera places, especially in Chicago, and Chicago art scene is very socially conscious of lots of different things now, right?
Okay.
Like I've gone to 2 shows where they thank the Native Americans whose land the theater is built on and the Native American tribes that came before us in Illinois. I'm dead serious. This is 2 or 3 shows I've seen that this happen. So, yeah, the Chicago art scene is they're just, and that's fine. So they got it. So you can't just run a Wagner opera, right? Knowing that he's an anti-Semite, and then we've got all these anti-Semitic problems in the U.S. now, especially on Twitter and stuff, right? Because they just need to do something to kind of justify it or make it okay to run. So
how do they change a Wagner opera so it's okay?
So here's how they changed the Wagner opera. So and this is a minor spoiler, so I apologize. So just get ready for this,
friends. Listen, the one thing we know about our audience. Heavy into opera. So if you have not seen The Flying Dutchman by Wagner, Cody is about to ruin it for everybody.
Yes. So The Flying Dutchman's about this guy that's basically a ghost. He's cursed to only return to port every 7 years. And he can only break this curse of being forever just floating the seas by marrying a woman who is true to him forever and never cheats on him.
But he keeps a Jewish woman?
I don't know. No, it has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
It's just got to be some chick that doesn't, bang somebody else. And he can't do it. He just keeps getting these chicks to bang somebody else. So then finally, this opera is about the chick that he finds that probably won't do that.
Can I ask, do they call are the women referred to as chicks in the opera?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a literal translation. So
I like how they've changed it. Then.
Chicks were babes. No. That's a direct translation from the original German.
Okay.
Yeah. Pronounced.
Now, was this in German that you're seeing this?
Oh, of course. Yeah. And in German, it's pronounced Das Cheeks.
Wow. That's what that's what I was at Oktoberfest Saturday. I was yelling out a couple times. Some of the lady, das cheeks, Prost. Yes, go ahead.
So the Flying Dutchman is this guy. He's got a big trench coat on. He looks kind of like the Undertaker. He's got the unkempt hair, and his flowing trench coat goes to the floor really cool, whipping around. And well, he's not moving that much because it's an opera and they kind of move slow.
Right. And he's a
But
zombie.
But that's the thing. So he's got this like zombie trench coat on. He's walking around. It looks all brooding and mysterious. The lighting is cool. He's like,
Ooh, yeah.
some ship's captain picks him up and he's like, "You're cool. Give me your treasure and I'll sell you my daughter." Because that's what you did in ancient times.
Of course.
So the guy's like, "Yeah, okay, I'll give you like infinity dollars in treasure for your daughter. Fine." So they go, and then the daughter's like, "Oh, hey, I'm obsessed with the Legend of the Flying Dutchman. This works out." And this
works out.
So
as luck would have it, I've wanted to be faithful to a man in a trench coat. Thank goodness you're here now. Buy me like a slave and have at me.
So in one scene, she takes the trench coat off him, and
of course she does.
What is underneath? The whole most of the audience laughed at this. Because underneath he's wearing what looks like thick striped pajamas.
Okay.
Now,
like a convict, like old-timey convict clothes?
A kind of old-timey convict, but evidently this is a direct reference to prison clothes from the Holocaust.
Oh, no.
So the intent of the opera producers was to give a nod to acknowledging the Holocaust in the show.
What?
But they failed.
Yeah.
No one got it because a lot of people, I'm not talking a couple chuckles, there was an audible laugh from a lot of the audience when they saw it.
Wow.
So I guess Wagner won, woke crowd 0 for this
woke
exchange.
woke producers 0.
It just didn't. It didn't. And I'm not saying they shouldn't have tried something, but it was clearly too subtle.
Well, what would have been better if the Dutchman had come in on a train? What would have been the better move?
But I
how about if you're gonna do the Wagner opera, you just take the hit if somebody bitches about it,
or do the pre-show thing. Literally, I've gone to shows where they're like, "Hey, everyone, please silence your devices. And by the way, we're doing this show on Indian lands, and we want to thank the Indian ancestors that used to live here." Just come out and be like, "Hey, Wagner was an a-hole. Don't be anti-Semitic. Donate to this fund to fight anti-Semitism, and then do the show and just do the show and let people immerse and don't throw in a costume piece that's silly out of context."
Yeah.
I saw. Wow. I love the lyric and the sets that they do and the visual production. Brian, I want you to see an opera just for the physical set pieces that they do.
Okay.
Every opera I've seen there, the stage is unbelievable. It is a world-class stage production that it rivals anything Broadway in Chicago's done. I mean, it's better than pretty much anything Broadway in Chicago's ever done. It is, you walk in and you are looking at a painting. It is like a work of art. And I can't, every show I've ever seen at the Lyric, I've seen 10 operas, 12 operas. So I cannot speak highly enough of the overall production quality. The performances, the leads were phenomenal. It was a great show. I should say that. Go see it if it's 2 hours 20 minutes, no intermission.
Go see it if you don't mind anti-Semitism.
Yeah, clearly, right? So but it was.
I've been to the Lyric Opera House once for a performance, and I found it to be very uncomfortable and stuffy.
Really?
Yes.
Disagree. Well, you recommend you recommend TV things. You have a TV show recommendation.
I do. Well, but to make it sound like I do love the theater. I love the theater, and
yes.
I love musicals. So it's nothing like that. I just some things don't. And it's not to say I wouldn't like it if I went. I just am not motivated to go. And now that you've pointed out that all these guys are anti-Semites and we've raped Indian land to build theaters, I don't know if I should do any of this. This is horrifying. The whole thing. That's why I stay home and watch TV, because I don't know what happened on this land before this house was built. I don't think anything bad. No bodies are popping up in the backyard. I don't hear voices. Everything seems fine. I don't think we're on an Indian burial ground, or there's nobody in pajamas wandering around. There's no blood in the hallways.
Yeah, but they just don't pay the writers.
No, of course they don't pay them. Now they do. The writers are back. Tonight, all the late night shows come back. Last night, Colbert came back, or not Colbert, John Oliver. So they're back. The writers are back. We just do not. We just don't have the actors and stuff back. So we'll see what they can do on these. We'll see what they can do on these talk shows, since SAG rules will not let you go on to promote a project against a studio that's being struck. So I don't know if they're just going to have actors on to talk about nothing. That'll be fascinating. What is this? Parents and teachers. That is a bit tone deaf at best. Did either of you hear of the girl on TikTok doing the ethnic cleanse? Her parents and teachers failed her. I'm not quite sure what Marta is talking about, but yes.
No,
I don't know, and I haven't heard of it. Hello to everybody who's saying hello. Nice to see you. Yes, I do have, to wrap things up. This is right in your wheelhouse. This is the reason I am talking about this to you, because I have a TV show that I know you will love. You love wrestling, don't you? You love real live professional wrestling.
I do. Adam Copeland debuted in AEW yesterday.
I don't know what that means, but
don't worry about it.
Okay. Who's Adam Copeland?
Edge.
Oh, the Edge. This is the Edge.
No, just Edge, not the Edge. That's
I'm sorry.
That's U2's guitarist.
Oh boy. I'm sorry. All right, Edge.
Edge was a big name in WWE for like 20 some years. Now he's in AEW.
Oh, I know who Edge is. You know who John Cena is, don't you?
Yes.
You know who Brock Lesnar is, don't you?
Oh, yes.
You know where they wrestled before they got into the WWE?
Ohio Valley Wrestling.
That is correct. Have you watched this Ohio Valley Wrestling documentary on Netflix called Wrestlers?
No.
It's phenomenal. It's
okay.
A BBC documentary. See, I knew it. I knew you would like this one. It's a BBC documentary about Ohio Valley Wrestling. Now, do you know who runs Ohio Valley Wrestling?
Not Jim what's his name? Hold on. Give me 1 second. It's I literally listened to his podcast. Jim Cornette.
No. Al Snow.
What?
Former wrestler Al Snow with head?
Yeah.
Yeah. Al Snow runs Ohio Valley Wrestling.
Okay.
And Ohio Valley Wrestling, I'm not going to ruin it for you. I'll just tell you it is a they get some investors, because they need some investors. And the documentary follows them through the summer as they're trying to keep things afloat. And it focuses on some of the wrestlers, and it focuses on Al, and the new owner, or the new investors and stuff. And it is really, there's a couple people on there that you're like, oh, these people are just foul. And, but it's really good. And it's a really cool documentary. It has a nice arc. It has a good payoff. And I thought that you would enjoy it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of buzz about OVW recently, but I didn't know there was a documentary.
Yes, it's what is it, like eight episodes, I think, on there.
Yes.
And it's really cool.
Yeah, because I know Shelton Benjamin came out of there, and Batista, Cena, Lesnar.
And there's a lot of shout outs to that, to the history. And, there's some cool vintage, archival footage Like one episode, they're showing a lot of Al Snow stuff, and you see John Cena when he was a kid wrestling in OVW, and then his first match when he comes to WWE. And that's like the dream for everybody, is to either get to WWE or AEW. And what is it? Not Glow, but what's something Women of Wrestling? There's
Shimmer?
a women's but there's all kind of stuff in there. It's fun, and it's a quick watch, so I think you will enjoy it. So
What's it
there's
called?
my Wrestlers.
All right.
It's a very simple title.
I can do
Wrestlers.
that. I can do that. Now, are you going to be in a horror movie or a horror genre October?
I will probably watch a couple. What did I start? There was one on the other night I started watching. I fell asleep though, because I was watching it right before I went to bed. I started watching Friday the 13th, right at the point where Kevin Bacon got the arrow through his neck. And I was like, Kevin Bacon, how did your career blossom so far from that scene? First you're knocking boots with another counselor, and then hurrah!
But because I'm Game Life Balance, my video game podcast, my co-host John, obsessed, like horror movies are his favorite genre ever. He loves October. He's gonna watch a horror movie like every day.
Oh my gosh!
I presume somebody in our audience.
October?
Yeah, I guess.
Spooktacular.
Yeah, maybe some people in our audience are that way. I just don't like. I appreciate them. I've seen Halloween. I've seen Friday the 13th. Halloween is, I mean, one of the best movies. Just amazing cinema, and the horror movie genre does a lot of really experimental things.
Yeah,
which I like about it as a genre. Like rom-coms do not like break the formula. Horror movies don't even have a formula, and then they do and they don't. There's so much experimentation in that genre that cinematically, from a cinematography perspective, it's actually a fascinating.
I don't mind. I don't know. Like we'll watch some. Carol saying Trilogy of Terror. Oh, that's the one with Karen Black and the little like guys like, chasing her around. I agree with the original Halloween was great. A second grader asked me about do you watch scary movies, Mr. Noonan? And I go, I don't know. I guess I do. I don't. We have a bunch that we watch during Halloween. I like the jump scares. I don't need the gore. I like the jump scare ones.
Yeah.
That's why I liked Halloween so much, because I remember seeing it at the theater when it first came out. I watched the remake of Carrie a couple weeks ago. Part of it. Again, when I say I watch it, it means I'm in bed, I'm getting ready to fall asleep, and I'm going, oh, what's this Carrie? Oh, from 2015? Let me see it. I go, whatever. Basically the same. And then The Conjuring was on last night when I went to bed, but I didn't watch it because it was almost over and I didn't want to spoil it. But like The Exorcist scared the hell out of me. So yeah, I don't mind them. Debbie doesn't want to watch them. Debbie gets freaked out.
Okay. Yeah. Same.
She wants to watch them like in the afternoon. Well, that's no fun. I don't want to watch them when I go, we got to close the blinds because the sun's coming in. No, that's not when you watch a horror movie.
Now, is Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas or a Halloween movie?
I've never seen it.
Oh, okay.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
I would have to say isn't it a Christmas movie?
But it takes place in Halloween land.
Right, but isn't Jack Skellington wearing a Santa hat?
I guess part of it. I guess it's
Are you trying to start up a new Die Hard type debate?
No, I just genuinely don't know. I guess I just haven't. I've only seen it like once, and I don't remember it super well. And I know but like if it's like Black Friday and I'm decorating, a tree, and I put on the Peanuts Christmas special, I'm not gonna follow it with like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Why?
Because it's like tonally, it's not a Christmas. I don't think it's a Christmas movie tonally.
I just watched. Oh, Bad Santa! Shut up. Bad Santa is a Christmas movie. It happens right at Christmas, and he's Santa. And I watched the other one. The guy who plays the sheriff on Stranger Things.
Nope.
It was whatever. I think it was Bloody Santa. Something came out last year, a movie that I had wanted to see. It got really good reviews. It was Violent. This is it, David Harbour in Violent Night. And I was waiting to see it. And it came out on one of the streaming services. And Debbie went to bed a couple weeks ago and I watched it. And it may have to go on my Christmas Eve watch list now. I may have to send everybody to bed at like 7:00.
Was that good?
I loved it. I loved it. It was fantastic. John Leguizamo's in it. Beverly D'Angelo is in it. It was crazy. So yeah, it's Violent Night, Bad Santa, and that might be my Christmas. That's my Christmas Eve go-to double feature when everybody else is asleep. Not a creature is stirring except my psychosis. I'm looking forward to it.
Lord. I do want to see Santa's Slay, Slay.
Oh.
Starring Goldberg.
Wow. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, Bill Goldberg, the wrestler.
I know who Goldberg is, of course.
Apparently, it's hilarious. I don't know. Well,
I also last thing I wanted to. There was one I think it was called Fat Man or something. It's Mel Gibson as a Santa who's like being hunted to be assassinated by a kid who didn't get what he wanted, and so that's wow. Yeah, there's another great one. We should have a little film festival.
We should. Well, there is one movie real quick I do want to throw out there that you will not want to watch. It's called Mad God. So this movie, it's a Shudder exclusive. Shudder, Shudder is the horror movie streaming service.
Yeah.
So it's available on Shudder. There is a Joe Bob's Picture Show. Joe Bob is like,
I know Joe Bob Briggs.
Joe Bob
Briggs, drive-in movie reviews. Yeah,
he does at the drive-in, right, with Joe Bob Briggs. He basically talks a little bit about a horror movie, plays some of it, talks some more, plays some of it. So he does a drive-in show on Shudder, and it actually streams live on I think Friday or Saturday night. It streams live, and then you can watch it on demand. But it actually does. There is a time when you can sit down and watch it. My friends are obsessed with it. They do a double feature usually. So Mad God is available on Shudder and then on the Joe Bob Show. It took 30 years to make.
Oh my God.
I guess really in earnest, like production took like 13 or 14 years, but it's in the guy's head for 30. But it's by the guy that did the special effects for Jurassic Park. He did special effects for the original Star Wars trilogy. He did special effects for the RoboCop movies. He did like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I mean, the guy is like a Hollywood legend. He's got like he's got 2 or 3 Oscars. He's been Academy Award nominated like 6 times. He's one of the best special effects designers in Hollywood. And he started having these dreams and started making this stop motion animation film that looks better than any stop motion animation film you've ever seen.
I'm looking at the trailer right now.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
It's unbelievable.
Like if you hadn't said it was stop motion, it would have taken me a long time to figure out that it was stop motion.
Yeah. There is a live actor in one part, oddly, that does some scenes and some acting, but it's all among this whole stop motion thing. There was a set that took he had a team of people working every Saturday for 2 years to do like a 12-second shot.
Jesus.
It's stunning. It is. I don't. There's like, let's say there's 4 parts. The second part is totally grotesque. Like they open
I've seen some things on there that look pretty gross.
No, they like open up someone's chest and are pulling things out, and there's blood everywhere. It's very gory. The first part is not like none of it's aesthetically like beautiful, but it's like hauntingly beautiful. Like think Nightmare Before Christmas. Think Nightmare Before Christmas meets something way more horrific. And that's the movie. There's no dialogue. It's about a guy's descent into hell to do something. He gets killed and reborn at one point, kind of. He goes further into hell. The ending is weird and trippy.
Here's the slug line. The assassin travels through a nightmare underworld of tortured souls, ruined cities, and wretched monstrosities forged from the primordial horrors of the unconscious mind of Phil Tippett, the world's preeminent stop-motion animator.
Yeah. So it to me it's like Nightmare Before Christmas meets Eraserhead.
Okay.
Which is not a thing you want.
No.
I watched it with some friends very high the other day. Actually, my friend that is obsessed with horror movies was in town. So he convinced me. I don't hate that I watched it. I probably wouldn't watch it again, but I might watch it again.
How long is it?
It's only like 80 minutes.
Okay.
But there's no dialogue.
That seems like a long time.
There's no dialogue. The Joe Bob version's kind of cool because he interviews the director, and the guy literally he checked himself into a psych ward at one point during production.
Oh, good Lord.
Because he just was like,
yeah, it looks like something out of a demented mind.
And he got diagnosed with some kind of bipolar disorder. It was some kind of acute, like really significant one that he hadn't treated, but that helped him produce this thing. So interesting guy, interesting story, interesting film, not for the faint of heart. I wasn't grossed out except for the second part. I had to avert my eyes a lot, but if you can get past that scene, that kind of like hospital-like scene, the rest of it, and then like the second, like the last third of the movie, I think has more beauty than anything. And some of the shots are unbelievable. But Mad God, very unique horror film experience. It's an experience. Check. Wow. I don't know if I'm even recommending it. I just wanted.
You're just saying it's out there and it's unusual. And all right, well, this is the tagline for the other one, and then we got to go. Fat Man. A rowdy, unorthodox Santa Claus is fighting to save his declining business. Meanwhile, Billy, a neglected and precocious 12-year-old, hires a hitman to kill Santa after receiving a lump of coal in his stocking.
All right, so that sounds more fun.
That does sound fun. Sounds like something that could actually happen. A little more based in reality. Like the clock saying, oh, my God, we've been talking forever. I must say, for your initial worries that your son was running amok, he must have settled down, or your wife, put him in a sleeper hold, dropped him into the bed. We've lost all your microphone.
I don't know. I heard some hubbub at 9:40, which is very late. So hopefully
the hubbub is over, bub.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up.
We shall. Hey, tune in to Crafty Brewers, Tales
Behind Craft Beer.
Behind Craft Beer.
There, I'll put it up on the screen so you can read it. Crafty Brewers, Tales Behind Craft Beer.
Yeah, this Wednesday, October 4th, we're releasing a new episode that I think is very good, and we talk Oktoberfest beers, among other things.
Yeah,
with a gentleman from a brewery that you'll find out about. But it's great. It's another great episode that I will be even better when I'm done editing it.
Well, subscribe to that, give us some reviews. That would be terrific. Do that for this podcast as well. You can also follow Crafty Brewers, Crafty_Brewers_pod on Instagram, and more to come from the Crafty Brewers empire. But we appreciate you being here on Realities May Vary. You can leave us 5-star reviews and likes, and we like that too, and we do appreciate it. And we don't have Instagram because you know what we look like, and we don't like. I have an Instagram, and Cody has an Instagram, but that's all you need. Yeah, we're so accessible. We don't, you don't know everything we're up to. We need to maintain a little mystery. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. And I got nothing else.
Yeah, thanks for somehow giving me the benefit of the doubt after the first 15 minutes of the podcast. I don't know what happened there. It was fun after that. All right.
It was fun then too.
No, bye.